getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, blind, not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheek. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. 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 One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Greetings, citizens of the world. This is Anonymous. There is a global power struggle taking place, and in this game, there are no good guys. It is no secret that the United States and its NATO allies are intent on world domination. The many aggressive wars being waged around the world are evidence of that. However, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, the authoritarian regime that rules over China, also has plans of world domination, but they are just better at disguising their conquests as diplomacy. Before the entire world was forced into lockdown due to a virus that mysteriously originated in China, citizens of Hong Kong staged a massive protest in hopes of gaining independence from the brutal regime. The protesters in Hong Kong attempted to warn the world that the fight was so much bigger than the small island city-state where the demonstrations were focused. One of the most powerful images that emerged from the Hong Kong protest movement showed some graffiti that was scrawled on the inside of a building, warning the world about the agenda of the CCP. The statement read, "Dear world, CCP will infiltrate your government. Chinese enterprises interfere with your political stance. China will harvest your home like Xinjiang. Be aware or be next." Over the years, China has poured billions of dollars into overseas projects, helping to lift the economies of many nations across the globe, including South Africa, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and many others. The loans gave these countries the economic boost that they needed to become more significant players on the global stage. However, these countries have all seen economic hardships when it came time to pay back the money, because the conditions of the loan are very strict. When China loans money to a country and they are unable to pay, which happens often, the country must then give up a large stake in its economic infrastructure, including ports and trade routes. This strategy of conquest is popularly known as debt trap diplomacy. The regime has also been able to infiltrate powerful Western governments as well, by gaining influence with international corporations. This influence was on full display during the Hong Kong protests, and even the United States was impacted by this campaign. Major sporting leagues in the United States punished its players and its fans for using events as a platform to call for human rights in Hong Kong. Major Western corporations like Blizzard and others were heavily criticized for their unwavering support of the CCP in the face of egregious human rights violations. Activists in Taiwan have reported that the CCP is seeking to ban all online gaming, after protesters used the new game Animal Crossing to stage virtual protests in support of Hong Kong. Now, in the midst of a global pandemic, the CCP is using the same propaganda strategy to absolve themselves of any wrongdoing in the matter, as officials in the UK and US begin to ask questions about the missteps taken by the Chinese government in the early days of the outbreak. In some cases, US lawmakers have even suggested that the regime's notorious history of reckless experimentation could extend into the realm of deadly pathogens. Indeed, the CCP has absolutely no limits in terms of its scientific research, and continues to push ethical boundaries in experiments like those that create hybrid animals, such as the pig-monkey hybrid, or the human-monkey hybrid that have made headlines in recent years. A new US State Department report suggested that the CCP could be carrying out secret nuclear tests. The report went on to express additional concerns about the regime's possible violation of the Biological Weapons Convention by engaging in biological activities with potential dual-use application. As the pandemic has grown and evolved in the past few months, many people around the world are beginning to question why global manufacturing and production have been centralized in China. Supply chain problems and shortages have led many nations to consider limiting their future dependence on the manufacturing power of the CCP, but the regime will certainly use any method at its disposal to maintain their economic growth and geopolitical dominance. We are Legion. Expect us.
Alvaro Bedoya, a name you probably haven't heard, is a guy who's been nominated by Biden to serve on the Federal Trade Commission. Now, we don't talk about the FTC a lot. There are a lot of federal agencies out there. This is a pretty important one. The FTC is the responsibility of preventing or breaking up monopolies and protecting consumers' privacy. Now, because of those duties, of course, it has investigated Google in recent years. Both of those are problems that Google causes. And so far, we believe it's been far too lenient. So we're a little shocked to find out that a former Google lobbyist and current Google consultant is helping shepherd Bedoya through the confirmation process in the Senate to get to the FTC. Well, that doesn't seem non-corrupt. It seems actually the definition of corruption. Robert Rabin is the man's name. He's a prominent Democratic lobbyist in Washington. His firm, called the Rabin Group, represents dozens of clients. Rabin himself was a registered lobbyist for Google as recently as 2 years ago. His firm still consults for Google, the world's most powerful company. This show has been told by multiple sources that Rabin is acting as a, quote, Sherpa for Bedoya and arranging meetings between Bedoya and various Senate offices. Again, if that's true, that's corruption. We reached out to Rabin, who confirmed that his firm is assisting Bedoya. Obviously, a massive conflict of interest here. the guy who works for Google helping to install the guy who regulates Google. Now, you've heard a few Democrats talk a big game about breaking up big tech and giving the power back to the public. They don't mean it. How do you know that? If Bedoya gets confirmed as an FTC commissioner, do you think he's going to forget who helped him get the job? Probably not. And Google is the company that did the Google that he's supposed to be regulating.